Christ on a stick!
It's time to review The Nun II. Well, I've just watched the entirety of The Nun II, and I will say this clearly. It is definitely better than the first one. For sure. The first one was just so empty. And plus, we didn't really get to see, of course, the lead antagonist of the Conjuring universe, Valak the Demon Nun, of course, from that universe. It's just crazy that we didn't get to do that in the first Nun. But now the Nun 2, we get to see a little bit more of Valak the Demon Nun within this story. So they're a bit more active this time. So we get a lot of appearances of this character within the story, unlike the first one, which I literally got bored of watching the first one. Not even halfway through watching it. It was just that boring, was the first one. Nun 2, much better. Lots more action. A lot more jump scares than the first one as well. You know, you've got to add all your jump scares because it is a horror film. Definitely worth the watch, to be fair. way different. And it seems like this story, The Nun 2, connects straight into the first Conjuring. According to the theorized timeline of it, it seems that it connects straight in to the first Conjuring movie and stuff, according to the timeline, from what I've apparently read online. So, yeah. So, obviously, the Nun 1 took place in early 1950s. This is late 1950s for the Nun 2, which was 1956 that it took place, was the Nun 2. Out of the characters, Sister Irene returned after the first one, and of course, Frenchie in the first one also returned, which I wasn't really expecting, to be fair, for Richie to return. Obviously, Maurice is the proper name, but everyone calls him Frenchie, obviously, in this story. But yeah, definitely a better story, a lot more action, and definitely picked up better than the first Nun, which was just completely boring, and I lost interest like not even 10 minutes in for the first one. Out of the rating, I would rate the Nun 2 a solid 7 out of 10. Definitely good for what it's worth, even though when it comes to this, and I cannot believe this is apparently the rating of this, 45% Rotten Tomatoes. That's very underrated. I would not give it that 45. I'd give that a positive, roughly at least 57% Rotten Tomatoes. That's probably where I would stand it, 57%. Not too bad, as of how I would rate it with Rotten Tomatoes. 57%, in my opinion, it should be rated that. It's extremely underrated, especially for the Rotten Tomatoes. 45%. I totally disagree. The Nun 2 is definitely better than the first one. So, definitely go ahead and watch The Nun 2. Obviously, you have to be 15 to watch it. It is rated a 15. Just go watch it. Watch The Nun 2. Because it's a 7 out of 10.